26th November, the day when our constitution was formulated, it was drafted, and the country got the law of its land. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Swati Kumari, and today I seize this occasion to discuss with you the importance of our constitution. As a teacher, I come across many a times students who really do not understand, who do not see the rationale, who do not understand the logic behind the Indian Constitution. And they are very quick to point out flaws in the Constitution. The basis of their knowledge is quote unquote the Instagram reels or the social media which they come across, those 30-second videos which they feel are enlightening enough to tell us the importance of the Constitution. That, as a teacher, is my biggest lament, and at the same time I personally take it as a task to spread awareness amongst my students and also whoever I come across, maybe of my age group or somebody who's completely ignorant of the importance of the Constitution. You know what? Indian Constitution has really stood the test of time. It was drafted, and since then, since 75 years plus of our independence, this Constitution has, suffered and has survived several blames. We have used the epithet that Constitution is a borrowed document. We have made allegations that the articles in itself are not self-sufficient. We have always accused our Constitution to be biased in nature. And this comes from the fact that we do not realize the history of the Constitution. We do not realize what went into the making of the Constitution, and we are not even ashamed. We do not mince words when it comes to sidelining the sacrifices made by the nationalist leaders, and not just the leaders, the people of this country. When I tell you that the Constitution is voice of the voiceless, many of you would not agree with me. Because for you, the Constitution was only a bunch of politicians belonging to a specific political party trying to fulfill their agenda. But let me tell you, at the point of time when our Constitution was written, it was rooted and it understood the complexities, the diversities, the challenges which our country was facing. And even if not everyone was present in the Constituent Assembly debates, it was ensured that everyone is duly represented in that. So you had the voice of the tribals, you had the voice of women, you had people thinking whether the idea of separate electorates is justified or not. You had people talking about the rights of the Dalits, and you simply end up blaming and only quoting the Objectives Resolution speech by Jawaharlal Nehru. That was just one part of the story. The Constituent Assembly debate is 9 bulky volumes of the texts right now stored in the National Archives of India. The problem is, when we raise allegations, we do not do our homework. So my heartfelt request to you would be to just pick that book, short, sweet book, which you refer to as the Constitution of India, and try to understand for yourself what are the constitutions. What is this Constitution? Do you know that this is one of the most comprehensive, most flexible, and quote-unquote live document, which has the potential, which has created the flexibility to amend itself as and when the need arises. Many countries around the time when India was becoming independent, several countries which became independent either fell into political chaos or turned into dictatorships. But India survived as the biggest parliamentary democracy, and in this Constitution had a huge role to play. Because the provisions were such which provided voice to the voiceless, which represented the marginalized section of the society. This is the Constitution which has positive discrimination. Don't take it otherwise. The positive discrimination is apologetic for centuries of oppression that we meted out to various lower castes and communities. It tried to take into its stride the interests of the minorities of this country who were suffering and bearing the brunt of partition violence. In the present time, our secularism, many a times we come across the idea that why are we even secular in the first place? What is this ideal behind secularism? Why don't we change it? Understand, our secularism is not blind or impervious to the problems which come with orthodoxy. And the biggest example for that is the movement against the triple talaq, the bill that was introduced for triple talaq. So we understand that the secularism of our country is not blind. Wherever required, and would you understand that we are even different from United States of America over here? When we practice secularism, we try to purge the religion of all its evils. But in US, secularism is completely blind to whatever goes on within the religious cults. So you name it, and I can give you like several examples which tells us how good our constitution is. When the constitution was being drafted, our leaders understood and realized that in near future there would be challenges. They even introduced the idea of right to constitutional remedies. Time and again, amendments were introduced, realizing the problems. For example, right to property once upon a time was a right which was a fundamental right. But realizing the problem of zamindari in our country, we did away with right to property as a fundamental right and converted it into legal right. That provision, my dear friends, was again created via the constitution of our country. At the end of the day, I will only say what B.R. Ambedkar, Honorable Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said. He said, any constitution is not good or bad, but the people who implement it are good or bad. So today, when you make allegations against the constitution, please remember the constitution is not to be held at fault, because it is one of the most flexible, comprehensive document it could ever be, right? The problem is, or if you want to raise questions, please raise questions on the people who either distorted or who tried to make the best use of the constitutional provisions. And if you want to be the change maker, please, on 26th of November, take this pledge to study the Constitution as a document for yourself and see how you can contribute to it and how you can use this Constitution to make this country a better place to stay. So signing off, this is Swati Kumari, hoping that I was able to instill some sense in some of you to realize that how and what importance or what significance the Constitution holds. It offers hopes to millions of people who are not present in the parliament. It offers hope for a bright future. The only point is you need to know how and when and in what manner to use it. Thank you.